Good morning and welcome to 25X Trading, and we're gonna, market is open in about a minute and a half, so we are November 25th, Tuesday,
so yes,
till Thanksgiving, so we're going to be very careful today. Again, this is 25 times leverage, so we will be careful, and let's see where we are. Right now, today is going to be 11:25. 11:25.25, and our goal is $67.57. That's what our goal is. Our true target is $76, but again, we want to do our estimated target, and we're above the game. We're right. Yesterday we finished about 404 up. Today minus 67. If we don't trade, we're up 336. So let's see where the market is right this second. Okay, we got 30 seconds to go, and we're going to be looking at BABA, NVIDIA, BBAI. Let's see what else is playing. AMD, obviously. Everything's really taking a dump at this point. So let's see what happens. I mean, right now, the market really tanked into it. So let's see. We're not going to get crazy right away. Let's readjust our shares. We don't want to get big into anything. Again, our target is roughly X amount of dollars, so let's see what's happening. We're definitely feeling a short today, no doubt about it. So Apple taking off right now. So let's see what Apple's doing. I don't feel Apple is going to be as strong as well. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right, we just got into Apple for a short, quick. Okay, 20 shares. Let's see where that dumps off to. And right now, last couple times we've done Apple, it's done a reverse on us. So let's see what happens here. It's chugging along. It's at 277, and we feel at the wow, we're $1.50 out of the money already. Oh my God! And Palantir.
So we're just holding on right now.
Let's see if anything does a reversal. Okay.
There we go.
All right, we're out of the money right now. About 1 time's loss. So let's see what happens. All right, we just added to the position of Palantir like an idiot. All right, so we're shorting Palantir and we're shorting Apple.
All right, we made our day. Let's see if Apple comes back in 2 times gold, basically right now at 143.17. It seems to want to come back into it. It's not like it's pretty. Our goal is $67. But that's what we want to do. It seems we actually made more than 2 times. We made almost 5 times our goal at 143.17.
Let's see what happens.
Remember what we said. Our goal this morning was roughly 2%, which comes out to 61.20. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, don't get me wrong, but again, our stop loss is 306. So if we're losing 10%, you know what I'm saying, then we're not doing our job. But the beauty of what leverage does is it takes that 3,000. So it gives you 80,000. Right now we're on the short side, which is roughly 78,000. So let's see what happens. With 79,000, I was able to get 400 shares at one time. We're going to see what happens here. We're shorting with 400 shares of them. You know, you want to be right. No 2 ways around it. If you're wrong on Apple, you're going to get stopped out. No doubt about it. It's strong right now. No doubt about it. We're definitely feeling a little surprised. Everything else is tanking. So let's see what happens. It's still chugging up. Palantir coming back in. What it allows us to do is basically take that small snip where you have the over exuberance on one shot and it comes back down. There we go. Now, let's take a look at this really quick. So you can see Palantir's up here at the 170s. So let's just say we wanted to take another stab in the dark. We lower our share size down to 10 shares, and we say, yeah, we still want to go on the short side of this trade. No 2 ways around it. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm looking at a red candle coming up soon. It's all topping tails. So
$2.
that is a given right there. It's all topping tails right now, and let's see what happens.
Apple.
It's like I said, we've made our goal. I'm
So
not
we're in
here
for
to ruin our
140 shares.
day.
We're down 200
It's
right now.
9:40 in 10 minutes. We just
Again,
made
this might not be the best
$143.
trade in the world.
So over
So
trading
let's
is
see what
beyond
happens. Apple
stupid.
really steaming
So,
to the
but this is
upside.
real cash.
Unbelievable.
As
Wow.
opposed to if you're
Absolutely
dealing
crazy.
with a prop firm, guess what? You're playing a video game. And in that video game, you're looking at something and saying, oh yeah, I'm making money. No, you're not. You're not making
Really
money in the
turn-
least.
I mean,
so
no news going on.
we're going to
There's
take
just
one
a
more
lot
stab
of
in the
buying
dark,
going on.
see if we can
We're
push it
hoping
a
that this
little
dies
bit
out.
more,
Now,
and just make a
really
few
starts
dollars
to
more
fall
to
into
place
place.
here.
So
If not,
we're getting
I don't care.
close.
You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm putting
we wanna
10
stop
shares
out
out
of
there.
this.
If I make $10, great. If I lose $10, even that's
so
fine
it'll
with
fall
me.
back into place.
That's what we're looking
If this
at.
falls back into place, we'll make
so
our day
right now,
easily.
there
We're not
there
that
you go.
far
It seems
off.
to be
At
tumbling
140
down.
shares, we're about $1
So
off right
we're up
now.
about $5.
Not a
Doesn't sound like a
huge
lot, but
move
we're
in
talking
terms of where it has to
percentages,
be.
and
So,
eventually,
but we
in
need it to
100
start
days
falling
from
into
now,
place.
we're going to be looking
Start
at
to
this
break
going, oh
below
my
that
God, instead of
278,
5, it's 500.
made a huge move run
That's
up.
what we want to look
Let's see
at.
if it can get
So
down below
we
that
hit it right on the
278
head.
marker.
Now
If
we're
it
up
gets
$10.
below that
There
278
we go.
marker, we'll be
11.
sitting really
It's
good
hitting
at this
the-
point.
right
So,
now, it just touched on
now
VWAP.
it's starting to steam down.
Let's see if it
Okay,
crashes
so
through or it starts to
hopefully
bounce.
this one will bring it down to VWAP.
This is what we were expecting the whole
VWAP will be
time.
277.04.
The consensus was that
we'll
it was
definitely
go
be in
down.
money at that point.
But
So
again,
that's what we're hoping
usually
for.
when it hits
It's
VWAP,
getting
you're
real
going to have
close
a
to that
little retracement
278
there.
marker.
So we're up
If
14.
it breaks down below that, we'll be perfectly fine.
We actually
That's
gave
what we're
away a
hoping
lot
for.
of money today. It was
We're hoping that this runs out of steam right now.
That one trade
And that
really cost me a
you
lot of
basically
money.
have
I
the
wasn't paying
selling
attention.
coming in.
I had the dog on my lap, which was dumb, but I didn't want her to bark. So
Getting bought up right away.
at 15, we're going to get out of this. Wow. If it retraces to 15,
Really,
because nothing goes
really
straight
just
down. You know
steamed
that.
up to oh my goodness.
But this is turning into an excellent trade right
That's
now.
a real big buy up there.
We got $20 off 10 shares. We just got $2.
Let's see what happens.
$2 off this trade. That's incredible. Now people will be like, well, you know, you got $2. What if you put 100 shares? Yeah, what if? And what if it went the wrong way? Look at that. All right, we're out. That was a $20 trade off of
We're
a
getting
10
real
share
close.
trade.
Okay.
Look at that.
We're getting
Look at
real
that
close
guy
there.
right there.
We're gonna get stopped out.
$2.
And if it
That
does,
was
it does happen.
$2 instantaneously. What a trade. That was beautiful. And now, let's just say, let's take a look at AMD at 235. Oh my goodness. That thing just cratered. Holy cow. That was a trade.
See if this can
That was a
fade.
trade. Oh my God. Look at Tesla. And you caught the high on there at 407.
It hit
Now
280.
it's $7 in the
hopefully-
money. That's incredible. So everything is
280 is where
tanking.
it's gonna start
We
to
made our
tank.
money. There's no sense to get greedy right now. Do I think AMD is going to do a little
It's
dead
starting to
cat
flat
bounce?
out.
Yeah, of course I do. You know, that's a given.
Let's see
When
what
if something's shot down there in no man's land for $5, you gotta hope that it's gonna make something. So let's do some 10 shares there.
Baba took a tip.
Not yet. It hasn't shown a green candle yet. Nothing's showing a green candle right now. So, again, this is about not over trading and overstaying your welcome. Wow, look at that. That is some trade. Anybody who went short on AMD, wow, unbelievable trade. So, you asked me, like, you know,
It's being bought up
I had a few friends
extremely
of mine
well.
that asked me,
Don't know why.
you know, what do I know with the trade? What do I
Everything else
feel
is
like
really
trading?
tanking to the
And I tell them, you know, I like to
south,
stay with
so
what I
Apple's still
know.
looking real strong.
That's the truth of the
We're
matter.
close to selling stock
I like to
now.
go in
Very
there and
close
say,
to
okay,
stock
fine.
now.
So I just bought some
So,
AMD really quick,
hopefully this can
just to
start
get,
the
you know, a
right
few
way.
dollars off of it. Nothing.
This will
You
definitely
know,
be,
you got to
know,
have
big loss for us
expectations
today.
of
Set us
what
back
you're
a
going to
bit.
make.
And
As
hey,
opposed
it
to
is
what
what
you're
it
going
is.
to
There's
lose.
nothing you can do about
Okay?
it, you know.
So
Sometimes you
AMD
win,
just
sometimes you lose.
freaking cratered.
But right
okay?
now,
so
we're hoping
we
that
just
this
made a
turns
quick
around
$7 off of
and
it.
it makes us
Let's
some
see.
money.
This thing could do a
So
little
we can
dead cat
continue our
bounce here.
journey.
Tesla just did a monster dead
In
cat
200
bounce.
days.
Look at that.
Okay.
All right, we almost have $1 out of this.
So it's starting to fall in, but we need
on.
continuation right now. This
We
is
got
where
80
we
cents
need
out of this
continuation. If we get the continuation, it's fine. But this could be, you know, at this point, we're hoping that this was just a rug pull, and it's going to start to fade. But it's
hit $1
very
for a second,
strong
we
right
need to
now,
get-
and
I didn't put
that's not a good sign for us, to be quite frank with you. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely not in a good light right now. We're hoping that this thing will fade off. If it fades off, we'll be sitting really good. But let's see what happens. You know, we're down about $300. Nothing great.
I just hit it for another 10 shares. Let's see if this thing starts to take off a little bit.
We're still holding on.
Now we're down $1.
And that's the thing about trading, is that sometimes you hit it right and sometimes you hit it wrong. And this one, our conviction is that hopefully it did top
Hopefully
out
this
at
thing can turn around.
280.38.
It's starting
If
to
it
like-
did,
so now we're down to
great.
roughly
If it
about
doesn't,
$1 on this. Okay, so
you know,
that's
we're
why
gonna
you
lose,
got to
obviously.
watch how many
We're
shares
hoping-
you're taking.
I mean,
and be smart.
all the
about it,
indications
okay?
were that this
So
was a short.
right now we're down
Every
about
indication was.
$1.50
But
on
again,
this. So
you never
let's see
know.
what happens.
You don't know. I
still
don't
think
know.
it's going to turn
So
around.
we're hoping
we
that
had
the shorts
the
come in
dollar
there
on it,
and the selling comes
we got
in,
a little
it starts
greedy
to
right there. I'm
steamroll it,
not going to lie.
and it starts to
Okay.
break down.
So
A
let's
lot
see
of
what
buying
we
going on in the beginning, but hopefully this will start to really break down. If it can break down, like I said, this one will definitely put us into the money.
40 shares.
We're very far out of the money,
That's us
though.
up
We're
there.
definitely far out of the
So
money.
we're in
No
it
two
for
ways around it, you know what I'm saying?
230.95. Stock's trading at
We started
230.20.
leveling this in because, truthfully, you know, I didn't think, personally, like I said, I never thought this would get above 279, and that's where I should have really held out at 280. That dollar would have
Yeah,
saved
we're
us a
into
few
it.
dollars. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So let's see what happens. If this can start to break down
We're gonna
heavy,
get out of this as
we'll
soon
be
as we
fine.
can.
And that's where, you know, that's where we're at right now. So let's see if this starts to
There we
break
go.
down and really,
We're positive
really
for a
start to turn
second.
to the downside. A lot of things right now, you know, overall in this market are starting to break down. So, and listen, I'm not one to say, oh yeah, we're gonna, you know, we want the market to go down, but we want to basically go in there and profit off whichever way the market's going. So we're moving down, and we're starting to get back into it, which
There
is
we go.
good.
$25. If this can turn around, we'll get $100 out of this. If it doesn't, we'll take a small loss.
All right, it's still collecting.
There we go.
Let's see if it can get
There
down
we
to
go. Got
VWAP.
that little cat bounce
If it
going.
gets down to
$50
VWAP,
up.
we'll be perfectly
60,
fine.
70.
We'll actually make our day, and that's what we're hoping for.
Alright.
You know, we're hoping for some continuation right now.
Almost up
This is one of the
75
major
cents,
candles that we're hoping
60
for. So
us
that's
a
what
dollar.
that's
Come
what
on,
we're
give us a
hoping for, is
dollar.
that we get that continuation, and then
Almost
we can
had
say,
it.
okay, fine, we are getting into there. I don't see how this is, and like I said, I can be wrong more times than I can be right. No two ways around it. Okay, and that's where we're sitting right now. So let's see what happens.
Again,
we're short
a little greedy there.
Apple. We're in it
No
at
big
277.61. A little too early. We got in a little too early. We leveraged out a little too fast, and that's where we hurt ourselves. So right now we're hoping that this will go in and start to keep churning down. There's a little bit of a bump going back in there. So if this starts to take off, we're gone.
So we're into
I mean,
300
we
shares
literally
now.
at that point, we will
Like I said,
definitely
I got
lose
greedy
our ways
twice.
around it.
I could have
If
been out
this
of
is a
that
short, we're
both
gone.
times with
You know what I'm saying?
$100,
That's
which was,
what we're
it
hoping
is
for.
what it is.
It's
I'm expecting
following
this
the
thing to do a
pattern where it
complete
needs to
turnaround,
be,
so that's why I'm
but
waiting right now.
if we get a
So,
strong
we're only
buy
down
in
10
there,
bucks.
a
If
nice
this thing doesn't
pickup,
turn around,
we're
we'll be
definitely going to be
sitting real pretty
losing
right now. So
fast.
that's what we're hoping for.
Palantir,
It's getting close.
really
It's
took a
getting right there.
nosedive.
We have
We
to
should have
have
stayed in that
turnaround
one
now.
actually.
But
But
we're down 120,
Nvidia
but that's
tanking,
literally pennies.
everything is
Pennies.
tanking hard,
So
except for
right now
Google.
we're in it to
Google's actually holding the
230.54
line right now,
and it's at
Baba
36. So
took
let's see this thing make a charge up there. If it makes a charge up there,
we're
we're going to be
hoping
looking
that
at
Apple
231
starts to
instantaneously.
see
So that's what we're
into
hoping
that.
for. That it starts to charge up
There we
there.
go.
It makes that
Starting
move
to
up
break
there.
down a little bit.
That's what we're hoping for.
Like I said,
it's
we're
holding
hoping that this
230.
can
That's
go
what it's
below
got to do.
VWAP.
If it doesn't hold
If it doesn't
230, we're going to be in
retrace,
big,
If it doesn't
big trouble.
retrace, we'll
But
be fine.
right now it's
So
holding it.
That's what we're hoping
And
for.
hopefully
If
it can
doesn't
catch this
retrace,
bid right now.
not a good thing.
If it catches
Not a
this
good
bid
thing
right
at
now,
all, you know,
we'll be
hopefully
we'll be
there's a few
fine.
just
Absolutely
stragglers
fine.
around there,
So,
and then you're going to
there
see
it
this thing
goes.
fall to the bottom. That's what we're hoping for.
It's
So
touching
we've
it.
retraced a
Come
lot.
on, you got to get
We've
above
come
there
off
again. You got to get above 54.
Our lows
I
for
saw a
us,
couple 30s.
and we're hoping that this
Wow, it's all over the
continuation
place.
happens, and it's
Come on.
it's gonna be a while. So the one thing you have to realize is you will lose sometimes, and unfortunately, if we lose, it sets us back.
This just should.
And right now, Apple
Absolutely
just did a
should.
nice little churn up, and
That is bad.
there's two avenues here. Number one is, do I think it's going to have a continuation?
So I'm not gonna lie, that was
Do I think this is gonna
what we
be,
call staying your welcome.
topping candle, topping green candle.
Overstaying your welcome.
More than likely,
In a
I think
huge
you're gonna
way.
see the last bits
so
of
now
purchase
you
going
can
in
see
there,
where our
the
stop
buys,
loss is.
and then this
You know,
will
we're basically
come down
almost
again.
hitting our stop
So
loss there.
That's what we're hoping for.
10%.
This was the last gasp
so
effort, but
both
I
times
don't know.
we had $100.
You
We had
don't
$1 into the
This is what
money,
the market's all
and
about.
we decided we were going to
And
get greedy.
so
When you
if we
get
look at it
greedy,
right
this is
now,
what ends up
our
happening.
Stop is about $400.
So, listen, I'm
if
not
we
learning
lose
my
400,
lesson here
we
because
will
I'm
be down to
smart. I'm
383
learning my lesson
profit
because I'm actually
for,
stupid. And I made a
at
mistake.
this time period.
Point blank.
Okay.
Our
At
consensus
this time
was that the
period,
market was
based
going to
on
take
the
a shit
estimated
today, and it
and
is.
what our targets
So
profit
we're
would
hoping
be,
that this thing
that
turns
would actually
around.
put us a
We're out of this
below.
roughly by $1. It's
or
not
the difference where we
it's
should
not the end
be
of the
and where we
world.
are right
this
now
thing
is
can take
404
it,
yesterday.
shoot up
Losing
instantaneously.
400 would put us
So that's what
basically
we're
at
hoping for
zero.
right now.
That's
that
what it
this
will
thing
put us
starts
at.
to make its green
So we
move
would
up there,
basically be
catches
at
the bid.
zero,
If it catches its bid, we'll be
to
positive
where
in-
we need to
in
be.
absolutely
We
a
would
second.
still be on
And
target
hopefully, if it
for
catches the
hitting
bid,
our
like I said,
goal of
we can get out of
135
this
in
right
200
away
days.
and then call
So
it a day.
that's what
and
we're
then
hoping
be
for.
done trading.
And like I
that's
said,
what we want to do.
you're starting to see some weakness break into
we made a
Apple.
mistake.
So,
Absolutely
like
made
I
a
said,
mistake.
let's see
So,
where this goes.
You know, right now, it's
hopefully
not
we can
catching
go from red to
freaking right now.
green. It's
Man, what an
stubborn right now, but
Absolute
hopefully it
fucking
made
idiot.
that last gasp effort in there. And
anybody says that,
we're going to see a
have to
nice,
stay cool with your
strong
trading.
push
Yeah,
to
I
the
get it.
downside.
I get it. But
Palantir
this is
just
sell
chugging
off, sell
along
off,
to the
sell off.
downside.
Nothing is coming in for a buy right
Nvidia
now,
going
especially
downwards.
AMD.
Tesla taking a nosedive. Tesla at 409 right now, and just churning to the downside.
time.
Okay, I think I've picked the only stock that's actually holding up right now. Baba immensely to the downside. So, wow. I can't believe we actually picked the only stock that seems to want to go to the upside. I could have thrown a dart at the board and shorted pretty much 99% of the shit that's
when
out
you look
there,
at the consensus,
and we would have been fine.
you have
But
to
we
say,
find the
where
one
is the market
stock that's
heading,
going
in your
up,
opinion?
and
today,
basically that's
I
what
had
ends
a
up happening.
feeling it
So
went down.
it happens,
Like I
you
said,
know.
I'm not gonna,
And you know what the sad part is?
sugarcoat it.
Tomorrow,
We have the
this thing will
$100
be down $5.
twice,
You know,
okay?
and
We
that's what
traded
you have to
very
remember is that
poorly
you're not
today.
always going to be
You
right.
know, with
So
Palantir,
even though
I
you
lost
think you
$100
got it
because I
right,
wasn't
guess
looking at
what?
shares.
It doesn't always
I
work out
basically
that way.
went long
So
on
we're
something I was
holding,
supposed to
we're
go
holding
short.
out.
I made a mistake.
And
On AMD,
like I said, my belief
twice
is
I
that
gotten out
you're
there
going to
with
look
$100
up,
profit.
and this thing will be $200-$300 in the money.
Closed it out.
So
bought it.
that's what we're hoping
But
for.
instead, I wanted
If not,
more.
we're going to stop out, and we
that's
almost
the problem,
stopped out
is when you
already.
want more,
We're
this is
real
what
close,
ends up
like
happening.
$25 away.
So now I'm sitting here
at this point,
trying
let's see what happens.
to
I'm not
save
gonna,
my
I'm not going
ass
to
on
catch out on this
something
thing
that's
right
probably
now.
gonna fucking stop me
I
out.
still feel confident.
So, you know what?
We're going to get that push
this is
downwards.
fucking bullshit.
I still
okay?
feel. And like I said,
and
based on everything,
you
feelings
can't
are
look at
great,
it any other way except for
but
that this
the
is
one
fucking
thing you have to
bullshit,
remember is that
okay?
our loss is kept in check. Even though we have 25 times leverage here, okay, that
Fuck me.
we're still
Fuck
able
me, you
to
stupid
maintain what
shit.
our loss is.
You stupid
so we're not going
motherfucker, man.
out of
Seriously.
our way to make sure that we lose more than we should. We've kept our loss in check at that point, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, the math doesn't add up. No two ways around it. Sometimes the math is wrong, and you just get steamrolled one way or the other, and there's nothing you could do about it. So at this point, like I said, we're down about 200. We did the one small trade with Palantir. We made $2, which was fantastic. But we need a huge push down right now to get us below 277. And I think we're going to get there. It's trying in every way, shape, or form. But again, if it turns around and we start to see this motor up, yeah, that's, they could catch a bid, no two ways around it. And if it catches the bid, guess what? We're going to be wrong. So it's starting to get there. And let's see, it's going to be hitting VWAP very shortly. VWAP has moved up. We've got VWAP at 278.40 now. So it should be hitting in about 15 cents, 7 cents, give or take. And if it does, guess what? Either A, it's going to push all the way through, or it's going to get a nice bounce on it, and we're going to get screwed. Simple as that. All right? So we have our finger on the pulse right now. We're out about 60 cents. 70 cents, give or take. All right, so we're getting real close. It's just broken VWAP. Let's see if this thing can die down now and really start to head to the downside. It's trying to break 278. That's the key right there. If it breaks 278, stays below VWAP, we'll be perfectly fine. And that's what it's trying to do right now. But you're going to get some buying up here. No two ways around it. You're going to get buying coming back in, and they're going to purchase it up. Hopefully there is not enough strength in this thing, and it keeps pushing it down below VWAP. And if it goes to VWAP, at that point our next target, really what we're looking at is 275. That's the ballpark that we're looking at. If we can get to 275, that's going to be a great scenario for us. So we're about $80 away. We're only down by 80, which is at this point it's almost a 1-to-1 loss. So we've regrouped and recouped a lot of the losses so far, but we're still rolling this. Okay, even though we were on the high of down 360 or whatever, we're still holding out because we want this thing to still falter down. It's below VWAP right now. Let's see if the sentiment is that this thing will still keep falling. That's what we're hoping for. Right now, it's still sitting there below VWAP. Does it lose out? That's what we're hoping for. If it loses out right now, we're in the money. If it rebounds, recaptures VWAP, not too good. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the game that we play, and that's what we look at. We look at the fact that, is it going to hold out? We have a conviction that we're going downward, okay, with which way we want to go, and we're still holding out that this will go downward. So again, it recaptured VWAP, but that doesn't mean anything. Hopefully it re-breaks it. We were very close to getting out of this, but our goal is to recapture it and really make a push downwards. We are 110% belief that this market is still going down. But you always have people buying into it. Palantir hitting VWAP again, trying to recapture it. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it's making
it's making some short strides down.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, I just took a step back. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. As I take a step out, 277.90. Yeah, that was my mistake. This could be definitely an issue where we're going to get stopped out. No two ways around it. So it's holding on to VWAP. It recaptured it. So let's see if there's enough weakness in this part where it reclaims it and takes it down. That's where we're at right now. Still a lot of buying going on, which is still a topping tail, but let's see what happens. We don't want it to reclaim it, but it seems like it's trying to reclaim it very hard at the 279 level. So definitely a lot of buying going into it. The consensus is definitely that it's trying to reclaim it. So let's see what happens. Like I said, you can be wrong. It's not a big deal. Let's see what AMD is doing. Okay. Trudging along. So, just so we know, my trades are my trades. I'm not advising anybody what to do. We've been doing it for a long time. We're used to winning. We're used to losing. Simple as that. And right now, there's nothing I could tell you except for you can follow whoever you want. Okay, there's plenty of people that are out there that they know how to trade. No two ways around it. They know what they're doing, and to follow someone and to really get an idea of what they do, and to basically mimic them, that's not the right way to trade. Okay, because unless you have the belief that you're going to go in there and trade and do it your way and know why you're getting in and why you're getting out, you're not going to learn. You're not going to learn, and it's not going to give you any piece of what's going on. So, my view has always been to look at pattern recognition and then see over exuberance on one side or the other. Okay, now the market sentiment is, in my opinion, is weak. Okay, that's my market sentiment. Now I'm looking at this where I thought this was a short. I believe it's still a short. Now I'm trying to hold on so this way we can recapture VWAP and go below VWAP. If that happens, then it will become a short. Right now, it's not showing the life that it needs to. It is retracing right now, which is great, in my opinion. Okay, so it's definitely retracing hard, but that's not always a good thing. Usually, sometimes when you get those flash moves like that, what ends up happening is it bounces up a VWAP just as hard, and then next thing you know, you see 70 cents the other way. So I don't really find any solace in that. It's got to get to VWAP, and it's got to go through VWAP to basically make this a trade that's going to be sustainable. So right now, they're making it to VWAP, but just as you see right there, it just jumped up, roughly 20 cents. So it bounced off VWAP again. Hopefully, like I said, this is a dying cow. Hopefully, if it does, great. If not, if there's more sustainability on this, we lose. Simple as that. My belief is that it's going down, but again, that's my belief. We're usually right 65 to 70% of the time, which is a great percentage. Okay, but you have to believe that you're going to be right 70% of the time. The times that you lose, guess what? You got to take it. You can't bail out of something when you feel like it's not going your right way. I've set my loss. I'm willing to lose 400 on this. If it happens, it happens. At the same token, if I win, great. Hopefully I can make $200, $300, $400 off of this. So that's the situation that we're in right now. It's flying around the 279 area. It's flying around right there with VWAP. Again, it just died down and it's bouncing off of it hard. Okay, so there's definitely something there going on. There's a game being played there right now. VWAP right now is at roughly, and that cell just got bought up, 278.56. That's where they're playing around right now at 56. If it can get below that 56, yeah, then we have a downward trajectory going down to 275. If it can get below that. But it's not doing it. We've got to get below the 278.56 marker. We do that, then yeah, great. We have a fantastic run downwards. But it keeps bouncing off the VWAP very hard, very hard. Hopefully this time it will crush through. It runs out of steam. But every time it's been bought up, just like now, every time it keeps getting bought up, and there's a lot of protection on it. So let's see if it runs out. That's all you can do is just see if it runs out. If it runs out, we're going to be back in the game. Simple as that, So it's getting real close. There it goes. It just went through it. So let's see if this has sustainability or if it recaptures it again. If it recaptures it again, we're going to lose again. Simple as that, you know what I'm saying? So if there's sustainability where it breaks down below 278, that's the number that we're really looking at is 278. If it breaks below that 278, right now it's trying to capture VWAP. This is the second touch on it, okay? So it's trying to bounce off of it again. It's the second touch with VWAP, and hopefully, like I said, this goes through it, and now it's got to touch 278. If it touches 278, great. Then we're going to be looking real strong at that point. I think once it breaks through 278, that's when it's going to put us into the money. And we'll be looking real good at that point. So it's trying to break through 278. This is the low right now. It's at 278, 17s, 12s. So it's flashing there right now. It breaks through 278, we're going to be real good, and we'll be looking real good in our situation. We're down about $68, $60.
So we're very close to where we need to be. Okay. Uh, Again, we're coming back from the dead. Okay. So if we can do that, great. We're only about $40 off. We need this one now. We need the continuation right this second to break the 278 and really start to make that move down. That's what we need right now. If we get that continuation right now, this will be it. If we get a two touch on this, then it's going to be very hard to see this thing. But right now we're getting close. We're about 30 cents away, so it's below 278, but it's starting to recapture it. So we need right now to start to break into the 277s, 278, 77, 80s, 70s, and then we'll be good. Right now it's still holding there at 278. That's the line that we have to break. That's the line we have to clear. We have to clear those orders out of it right now. And there's a lot of buying going in on there. And there we go. We're at 69s for a second. A second. So we're hoping at this point that we're going to see the flush through. That's what we're hoping for. I mean, we saw it for literally 1 second. And hopefully this will be the flush coming up right now. That's what we're hoping for. It's still trying to maintain it. And we are right there. Right there. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's trying so hard to maintain that. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. You kidding me? We were right there. Right there. And it's still holding on. I mean, it held the 66 for 1 second. Again, it's holding that 278. This is where we're trying for that downturn. That's what we're hoping for. If we get this downturn, we'll be sitting very good at this point. So again, it's trying in every way, shape, or form. Okay. We're within striking distance, so I can't complain at this point. We've come back so much at this point that we're saving the day. No two ways around it. Okay, so hopefully this will break down and get to the 277s, and then to the 275s. It's right there. Okay, come on, come on. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. That was the part where, we're right there. We see it fading out, and it's just holding on. Now it's bouncing back off of VWAP. Does it reclaim it? I don't know. Oh, we were so close. So damn close. Come on. Now we have to worry about it. It's going back to VWAP. Does it reclaim VWAP or does it fade away? And that's the goal. We were literally right there. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Such an annoying thing. Days like this, right now we're into this for 36 minutes, okay? And now it's just going above VWAP, and I can't tell you. The fade is not working the way we want it to work, which is fine. So we're just going to watch this. we're still there. Wow, we were so close. I mean, how annoying is that? It's that's when you've recouped all your losses, and you're looking at a position where it should be reclaiming it, but it keeps reclaiming VWAP. Hopefully this time on the third touch, it doesn't come back to life, but it just reclaimed dollar, a dollar. Okay, so obviously there's some buying going into it, and it's disappointing. I'm not gonna be any other way except saying that this was really a disappointment. Um, shit. It's an absolute disappointment, and we see a lot of buying going into this. Um, and again, at this point, if we start to see it break above 279, 72, 78, right in that ballpark, then we're going to jump out, because at that point, it's going to have proven to us that it's not. And at that point, I don't even have to worry about saying that we're going to, stop out, because at that point, it's going to still keep trudging along. So we're hoping that this will be, at the like I said, we'll take a $300 loss probably on this. Hopefully not. 279.81 is our stop. So we're about 80 cents away, somewhere in the neighborhood of 370. Um, and it happens. There's nothing I could do about it. Not gonna. Yeah, yeah. That's mm, not good. Not good. Wow, that just retraced everything. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Absolutely retraced everything. Wow, that was a huge move up. I mean, from where it needed to break, and that's what we were saying is that once we got to that 277 60 area, that's where we wanted the breakdown to happen. It didn't. So we're gonna have to hold on. Mm. All right, so at least it made another topping candle to basically let us out. So if it breaks above 279.41, we'll be gone. We'll be out about $280, which it's a loss. It's a loss. What are you going to do? You know. Um, Hopefully, like I said, this time as it makes a third touch, this will be the true fade on it. Can't. If it is, great. We'll walk out of here with a small profit. But this has not done what we thought it was going to do. You know, it's hovering around VWAP. It's broken it twice, but it hasn't flushed down to where we need it to be. And we got in it way too early. No two ways around it. There was plenty of opportunity to make money on this. We did not play it right. We thought it was a little bit more aggressive this morning on the sell side. It wasn't. So if we could see a few continuation candles on this will be great. If not, we'll get out at 240. Won't be our worst loss there. It'll actually retrace for us a little bit, and even though it'll be a loss, it's something where you lick your wounds and you come back to play another day. Simple as that. And that's what it looks like it's gonna do. So for everybody that thinks that trading's so easy, it's not always easy. That's why you try to make the money that you do, but you have to maintain your mental presence to know that there are going to be days that you don't make money. There's going to be trades where it looks like you're losing that you've got to hold out. And then there's going to be days where you have to know when to cut it. And right now, this is going to be one where, in all fairness, I will cut and run and actually go the reverse route on this. If this starts to churn above our break point, then it's going to be a buy for us. So let's see what happens. Let's see where we were at yesterday. So yesterday we had a profit of 146. Today we're down 190. So in 2 days we're down about $50. So let's see what happens. Slowly getting back into the ballpark. And like I said, you have to look at where you are and where you want to get out of. Okay, and right now, it's trending lower. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. Is that uh, I I'm actually surprised about how much buying has gone into this stock today. I'm very surprised. Okay, um, especially with the way the market's going today. I'm actually very surprised that it's held up this long, Apple. And, like I said, I could have thrown a dart today and hit 100 stocks out of 101 that were going down. And I got the one that's going up so far. So it's this is a longer than average hold for us. We've been in this for almost 45 minutes. And it's usually, I'll tell you this much, when you're in this for 45 minutes, that's not a good sign. That's a sign that you're going to lose. The longer a trade goes for me, usually the problem is that I've got on the wrong side of it. And at that point, I really have to bail out. So, that's a telltale sign. I'll be quite frank with you. You know what I'm saying? So, there's selling going on to it. And I just get this feeling, like I said, it's going to pop and we're going to lose. And if we lose, we're going to get out of 279.35. So that's where we're holding on to right now at 279.35. We're 30 cents away. That's what we'll get out of, and we'll take the loss. We'll absolutely take the loss, and it looks like we're going to take the loss. So let's see what happens. If we do, so be it. And then what I'll do is I'm going to reverse the trade on it, and let's see if the reversal will take us up. If it breaks 35, and it's trying. Oh, no doubt about it, it's trying. So let's see what happens. We're at 05s, 04s. How is this thing still sticking around? That's insane. It's hovering around the volume weighted average. It's stuck to it, absolutely stuck to it. It keeps bouncing off of it. It hasn't touched it again. So let's see what happens. It's making another run to that 35. Again, at 35, we're going to be gone. It's starting to consolidate here, which is not a good thing. Okay, 35, with the consolidation going on right now, it's the consolidation's two things, and that's when you see a consolidation like this, is it going to make a move up? I don't see it because the market is so weak right now that I don't see it, at this point. So that's why we're still holding out. We're still hoping that this breaks below VWAP and continues a downward trend. But this is totally, at this point, fooled us. Okay? So it's definitely going the opposite way that we wanted to go. So let's see what happens. We could be in this for another hour, for God's sakes. Or we could be stopped out in a minute. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Look at that. It's still consolidating. And yeah, it's not breaking down below that consolidation. So it's really starting to show a lot of strength. And it's really starting to show some strength in there, which I could be wrong. It could be a fool's game. But let's see if it can go below that VWAP. That's the most important thing right now. It's to get below that 278.50s and then stay below there. If it can do that, if it can stay below there and start to lose this 279 bid, then yeah, we'll hopefully survive this and make a few dollars off this. But the way it's bounced off of VWAP several times, and it's holding above it, there's a lot of strength going into this for some unknown reason. And don't get me wrong, Apple's a great stock, but with the market being so weak, I'm actually surprised. Even Google broke down below VWAP at one point and came back, which is fine, but this is not broken down tremendously below VWAP. It's held it. So, like I said, there's a lot of strength going into this. It's starting to get close to VWAP. It's starting to make that move, that quarter move, and let's see if it can do it. If it can do it, great. We'll be perfectly fine. If it doesn't, at this point between yesterday and today, we're down about $40. Okay, $30, give or take. Okay, it's not. Like I said, we're hoping at this point. We're holding out. The 278.80, that was a stronghold right there. Now we got to get into the 50s. We get into the 50s. We're hopefully seeing a major downturn into this, and then people will start bailing on this, and that's what we're hoping for. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this thing can turn down, and we go from red to green, and we call it a day. That's what we're hoping for. But the lesson here is I was willing to lose, and I'm still willing to lose. I've adjusted my stop. okay, to basically come in there and say, okay, this is what I'm willing to lose. So this is the most critical point right here. It's bouncing off the VWAP right here, but this is one of the most critical points right here to see if we're going to be right, okay? The spread on this is there. Will it break VWAP and will it start to make a downturn? We're here to see that right now, okay? It's touching VWAP. This is going to be, let's see if it does it. Okay, so it's touched once, twice. This will be its third time. Okay, and usually with the third time, either it goes or it doesn't go, one or the other. Now it bounced off it very viciously. Okay, it shot back up into 278.71. So let's see if this can still hold and still go below VWAP. That's what we're hoping for. If it holds and starts to churn upwards, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. If it breaks down below this and starts to continuation to go down, then that's a great sign. So there's a lot of buying and selling going on here right now. You're at 56 and 54s. It's hovering right there. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. You know. At this point, you know, we got nothing to lose, you know. We're pretty much break even from yesterday. So let's see what happens. If it breaks down here, in all fairness, the next move it's got to make, it's got to get below 277.59. That's where it's got to go next. That's the next move that you wanted to see it go to, okay? If it gets to 277.59, then we were right. If it doesn't get to 277.59, then you're looking at a turnaround. It's getting close to 278. It's in the 40s, okay? And that's why we waited till 35 to prove to us that this was going to be indicative of a turnaround. But again, it's still holding on, okay? It still just made a turn up back into VWAP at 55s, okay? We're back at 60s, so it's not giving up. You know, there is a lot of buying and selling going right there at VWAP, and the direction of this, where it wants to go, is clearly up in the air still. Clearly up in the air, okay? So, you know, it just shot up literally 25 cents. It's at 72s, went above VWAP. Let's see if I mean, it's trying to reclaim VWAP. That was the third touch, and we're still holding on that third touch. Okay. Let's see if it can stay below VWAP now. Wow. Unbelievable. Actually, it's holding it still. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. It's trying to retrace back to 279. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, I can curse. I don't give a shit. You know, sometimes you just want those trades where they just flush down $2 and you're in the money, and you're just like, yeah, I called it, you know. And then you get like today. This is literally an hour into this, okay, and this is a lot of bullshit in my opinion, you know, because we didn't play it right. I'll be the first person to admit it. It was not done the correct way, and we definitely leveled into this way too hard in the beginning. So if I had some more capital, I would have definitely bought at the top. But let's see what happens right now. It's trying to make that downward push.
And is it going to? It's stalled out 3 times already. Okay, so at this point, is it going to stall out again? I can't tell you. I mean, it's very frustrating to say this, but it's stalled out 3 times. And right now it's hovering right there at 67s again, shot down to 33s. So, this is definitely a real pain in the ass. I'll be dead honest with you. Okay, when you're getting this close to, showing the, where you need to be, and you're not seeing it, it's very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Some people like it. I don't. I don't. And there we go. It's gonna show you this bullshit again. If it starts to churn up, at this point, like I said, if it starts to churn up, we're gonna dump this and call it a loss. Totally. At this point, I'm just really pissed off about this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really pissed off about this. This is a trade that's garbage today. Whether we make money or not, and I don't feel like we're going to be honest with you, I mean, this is just a really bullshit fucking trade. Really bullshit trade, How it's held up this long is beyond me. Let's see. Like I said, at this point, it's touching VWAP, and it keeps holding on with as much weakness in the market as there is right now. This keeps fucking holding on. So I'm a second away from just calling this a day and taking the 177 loss and saying enough is enough. Because this is really, I got to be honest, this is 3 taps right now, and that's not a good sign. Okay, 3 taps to VWAP is not a good sign. Same way when you're going 3 taps to the bottom, it's not a good sign. When it recovers 3 times, it's usually a bad sign. You got to be fucking kidding me. Wow. Alright, we just went long on this fucking thing. We took the 212 loss. We just went long on it. Let's see. I mean, obviously we were wrong. So at this point, we're looking for the break of 35 and see a continuation on this and see if we can recoup some of the money. We went a little early. 35 is the marker. If it breaks 35, we're going to get a nice run on this thing. But again, at this point, I'm so disgusted with where this is going. I really thought for a second that we had the right call, but we didn't. Usually with 3 taps, you're not going to get that fadeaway. That's usually what ends up happening is you get 3 taps and it becomes a nightmare, and that's what happened. So let's see what happens here. If it breaks the 36, 37 level, if it does that, we'll make most of our money back, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying for, to be quite frank with you, what we're trying for is just a simple break even today. Let's see if this gets back to 280. The high of the day today was 280.38. So if you can get to that, great. I'll call it a day at that point. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is just definitely annoying as shit today. Absolutely annoying as shit. Well, God damn it. Between yesterday and today, we're gonna have to call it a break even because I don't see how we're gonna get out of this. We're hoping for another 50 or 60 cent run upwards. And will it do it? Who knows, dude? Who knows? And then we're going to have spent an hour not making $1 today, actually losing money.
which it's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? So we're at 170, give or take 180. Oh, let's see if this can make that run up to 280. Very strong today, Apple. Very strong. Surprised. Very surprised at that. Let's see if it breaks the $0.50. There we go. It's still churning up. Oh, shit. Still holding on. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. These are those days where you're just like, yeah, you know what? I couldn't do anything right. And now it's making a move down. You know, days like this are the worst. When you get caught in the chop, when it's just churning there and you don't know which way it's going. You know, it's really, it hasn't defined the move that it wants to do. It didn't define that it wanted to go short. Now it's not defining that it wants to go up. You know, days like this when you get caught in the chop is the worst. And truthfully, like I said, you know, this is going to be a loss. No two ways around it. So let's see what happens. We're down to about $50, and this is starting to fucking fade out again. Absolute bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. Mm. And just so everybody knows, you know, I don't like to lose. That's my biggest problem. I hate being wrong. And don't get me wrong, you're going to be wrong a lot in this business. Hopefully, you're not wrong more than you're right, or else you're not going to be in this business for more than a day. But see, look at the chop on this thing. It goes to 73. Now it bounces back up to 06s, 07s, and now it's making the move back up. You know, this is days like this when you don't have the signals that you need. You know, to basically sustain you on a purchase or a sell. You know, look at that. In a matter of 10 seconds, this has gone up almost 50 cents. You know, with chop like that, it's very, very, very hard to get a sustained game plan. You know, at that point, you really have to just sit and ride it out. So let's see what happens. You know, it hit a low of 73 just now. It just went up to 20s. So, you know, there is no continuation going on with this. This is, I mean, right now I can tell you this much. You know, lower lows. It made a higher low last time. So if you know, if we can take this and start to go push upwards above the 50s and stuff, yeah, then we'll be good. But there is no continuation right now. There is no precipice for this thing to be a strong, strong market or a weak market right now. This is just people sitting on their hands trying to guess what's going on. This is insane. You know, what we need right now is Trump to say that Apple's the greatest company in the world and they just got a $50 billion contract or a $500 billion contract. That's what they need. You know, if they could do that, then you'll see this thing rip up. But until that happens, you know, we're just sitting here with our fingers doing nothing. You know, I'm already made the point that we're going to lose. There's no way we're not going to lose, and that's fine. I got no problems with that. But, you know, sitting here just twiddling our thumbs, you know what I'm saying? You know, can it break above 280? Let's see what happens, you know. It's trying to. You know, if it gets above 280, yeah, we'll see. I mean, my whole belief was that this was going short, and I'm totally wrong on that right now. Up until this point, we are totally wrong believing that this would be a short. Absolutely. Now, looking at this right now, you know, you're trying to figure out where it's headed, and you know, it's not showing life one way or the other. You know, it broke above the 237s, and now it's right there. And is it going to break above 237 again to reclaim the 250s? We don't know. It went to a low of 270, 279, 278.73. So you have the 73s and you have the 55s where it's got to break the 37s. And it's right in there in that 60-cent window, just churning people to death. That's all it's doing. The market makers are making their money hand over fist right now, just churning those orders hand over fist. Look at right there to 23, 24, coming back down. Okay, we just jumped above 40. So it's hitting the 37s, which let's just see if this takes off. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of, and this is what I'm saying is that it went to 73 and it just hit 50. So you're talking about almost $1 in a couple of minutes. It's insane. The chop on this thing is absolutely insane. Now, does this take off and go to 280, 281? Who knows? 280.38 is the high of the day. So, is it going to approach that? That's almost $1 away. So if it gets to 280.38, that's great. So let's see if it can do that. It's trying to reclaim 280. It's definitely trying to reclaim 280. It's in the 60s right now. But again, is it going to break above here? We don't know. It's tried 60s a couple times. Let's see if there's some sustainability. Chop, 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 chop. Come on. Break out one way or the other. I don't care. It's amazing. Right now you're looking at 50s, the 58s, the 49s. I mean, it's all over really, the chop is just insane up there. It broke past the 37, so let's see if it sustains it. It keeps going up. That was a nice candle, but then a little red candle there. So let's see if we can get a continuation on here, or is the market just going to take it all back again and reduce it down to size? So let's see. It's at 59s. It touched 59, so if we can get into the 60s, we'll get some continuation hopefully. If not, this is just, you have a lot of selling, a lot of walls going up there all along the way. And that's all it is. So let's see if we get some continuation. If we do, great. It'll be we'll be able to salvage whatever little part of this day that we have. If not, whatever, it happens. We're talking about, from the 70s to now, this is over $1 in minutes. So this is where we're at right now. It's retracing a little bit, so hopefully this thing won't retrace all the way back to 279, which it seems to want to do. Oh, this is so frustrating. I mean, how many fucking hours can you talk, right? Yeah, it's just retraced to 37s, 32s. So, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Listen, 42 cents it just shot down. This is the problem.
Look at that. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. And that's what I'm saying is that if you want to talk about chop, this is where you're going to get killed. Absolutely going to get fucking killed. You know, it goes to 50s and then back down to 80s. You know, you're getting killed on this on a trade. No two ways around it. You're getting killed on this fucking thing. And we're going to basically sell this out and call it a day and take the 250, 260 loss and say that was it. We're done. We can't call it to save our fucking life today. And live to fight a fucking another day. Look at that. Now it's back at fucking VWAP. The motherfuckers, man. Seriously. You fucking cocksucker. Seriously. Almost $1 in the matter of fucking 3 minutes. All right, we're done. That's it for us. We took a fucking loss on this thing, and we got nothing else to do. All right, so that's the end of it, and I'll do a recap later. Thanks.